Welcome back to the G35 rebuild part 5, y'all. As y'all know, we got the engine in here last time, and that's pretty much all I did in that last video. But now, what I'm about to do here and explain to y'all, we're going to try to do everything we can to get this thing started. What I'm going to focus on doing right now, recently, and why it's been taking me so long to get a video in this car, I had to get a new intake because the other one, actually I got the other one right here, the old one where the fuel rail bolts down at, it cracked. Let me see, where did it crack at? Right here. It cracked right here, and then the whole piece, after I took it all apart, the whole piece just came off, so I had to get a new one. So that was one of the reasons why I had to get, or I've been waiting to do a video on this. I finally got the new one. Fuel rails are in, intakes in there. But then once I started, recording again, realized I didn't have any of the intake gaskets, so I had to wait again. I got those, and now we about to work on putting the entire intake on. As y'all know, I had a plenum spacer, and I am putting that back on. About to show y'all. Also, I did discover water has been leaking in this car pretty much the past year, so I don't know if I'm going to need a new ECU or not, but I discovered it because this is where this wheel cap, center cap, has been sitting for the past few months since I took the wheel off. But yeah, it's been leaking down there. I've touched the harness and none of this feels wet, honestly. None of this feels wet, but I didn't inspect anything up there or any of that. So we'll find out once I get a battery and try to get things started. But here's the throttle and all the intake parts and all that I'm planning on putting on. Intake spacer right there. But yeah, let me set the tripod up so that way y'all can see me put all this together. Alright guys, as y'all seen, I did drop my tool down here, so I couldn't find it, but I guess it's a part of the car now. It's somewhere down here where the knock sensor sits. I tried to reach my hand down there. I can only reach my hand so far, but I had another tool to tighten them up, but which I don't understand why I didn't grab that one first, because it actually goes on the ratchet and it's not like a impact bit. But I got them all tightened down. They're all torqued. Everything's all tightened down. I did put the throttle body on, plugged it in. The coolant lines are connected. I'm not doing the coolant lines delete. I did connect this heater hose over here on this side, so it's pretty much ready for me to get ready to throw this intake tube and all that on. But I want to get the stuff for this AC down here because I'm missing some bolts to it before I can put the compressor and everything back on. I do got to get some intake hoses though. Some of them are completely dry rotted. I don't know what I just did with it, but the PCV hose was completely like cracked down the middle right here, and I didn't realize it because the crack was like, it was super thin and you couldn't see it, but once I started like wiggling the line around, you could see it was completely through the line, and it was like all hard and crusty. So I pulled that off. I'm going to get a new PCV line. I do got to get this hose over here that's going to go on the bottom of the intake tube that connects on the bottom, because this one, the reason why there's tape around it, as y'all see, it's all cut and messed up. So gotta get that. I do got to get a couple cooling hoses. I am going to get these new I don't know what these hoses are for, but they connect over here. I'm guessing they're evap hoses. I gotta get some new evap hoses for this too, because you see these are like dry rotted and crusty, but hopefully they're enough just to, you know, get the car started. But other than that, guys, I'm gonna call it quits for today, because it's about to start storming here in a little bit. That was the reason why I cut the camera off, because it started raining and stuff, but I stayed out here working, as y'all seen. But this is where we're at on this for now. Also, I guess before I go, I'm going to tell you other things that I've done off the camera. So I did put the serpentine belt back on, idler pulley, or not the idler pulley, the tensioner, alternator, power steering pump, and I put oil in it, oil filters on with the new gasket behind that little oil cooler. I do got to get a new line for the oil cooler, because that line is also split, so I got to get new cooling lines for that. I did put the thermostat on. Other than that, I can't think of anything else that I did do. Oh yeah, I did basically plug the harness in everywhere, ran it in the cab and plugged it in. But like I said, I got to get that ECU, pull that out, and I'm going to check it for water damage or anything. And yeah, other than that, guys, I'm going to call it quits for today, because it's raining now. Alright, the next thing I'm going to grab to put on is the idler pulley / tensioner for the AC. And this goes on this way, I believe. Should go on like something like that. So may have to undo, or no, right there, something like that. That's the way it goes. But about to get ready to get that put on, and then I don't have a belt right now, so I had to go out and purchase a belt to put the AC belt on, and of course I had to take the serpentine belt back off to put the AC belt on, but I'm fine with that. But I'm happy that I found the bolt to get all of that put back together. Alright guys, got the tensioner all on there, and as y'all see, it's all working fine, but I don't know, this ain't sitting where the bolt was originally sitting, so, or sorry, it's not sitting the way it was originally sitting, so I might adjust this real quick. Hold on. Alright, I got it in there sitting the way it was originally sitting. This is only here because the way I just had it sitting, but it's sitting in there the way it's supposed to now. But as I was saying before, works perfectly fine, no noise from the bearings or none of that. So let me get a belt for that one of these days, or I might have the belt. I have to search the car and check, but I'm pretty sure I cut it off whenever I started tearing this engine down. Alright guys, it's a few weeks since that last clip, and as y'all see, man, I'm so happy with the progress that I've come over the past few weeks with this. So first off, let me start off by saying I have gotten the car to basically, you know, fuel getting up to the engine. I haven't tried to turn it over. Well, I tried to turn it over today, but I've been trying to turn it over without spark, so I have the fuel pump fuse out of it. But before, I was getting gas spraying out of this injector up here. I don't know if you see it right down there, but got gas spraying out of there. I'll see if I can get it on the camera for y'all, or actually no, I think I recorded a clip already of it. I'll include it in the video. But out on its own now. Yeah, it's spraying out. Transmission reads. I'm able to get codes today. I ran codes on it, and none of the initial codes that were on here are there anymore, and it's only just the codes for intake temperature sensor and the mass airflow sensor and stuff like that, because of course none of that's hooked up. But the starter, it tries to, you hear it click, so I'm torn in between if it's a bad starter or if my starter's good, or if I just don't have enough power. I'm going to work on getting the battery situation situated this week. I'm going to clean up these grounds, get a new good ground for the battery, get some new terminals up there. Other than that, for now, like I said, I'm making good progress. I finally got those transmission lines that I was stuck on for the life of me. Finally got them routed, figured out the way they needed to go. And if anyone is curious if they pretty much run into the same problem I did, they run here. Let me try to see if I can get under here and show y'all real quick actually. Alright guys, as you'll see, they're connected up there, bolted down, and I don't have any of the brackets holding it up where you're supposed to tie the lines down at. I haven't hooked those up yet, but I plan on doing that here soon. But you'll see which ways they pretty much run. I was getting stuck because I was running them way around the motor mount. I don't know why I was trying to do that and running around that power steering line, but as you see, they pretty much run alongside of the engine and transmission and out through the front and between the radiator and the tensioner. But I have those on. Let me stand up. Yep, and they come out right here in between the alternator, tensioner, and above the oil cooler, oil filter housing. Other than that, guys, I'm about to continue on putting little stuff back together on this. Right now, I'm working on trying to get this situated, this front core support. I did get this off of a car, so this isn't my original cracked up one. So, and I know one of my frame rails is bent, but I'm going to try to work with it for now. I'm going to try to bolt it on slowly, try to get it on here without breaking it, and if I get it on, then probably work on throwing the headlights back in, front bumper, and so on and so forth. I don't have a radiator or anything to put in here for now, but you know, we're just slowly putting it back together. Alright guys, I have the core support pretty much bolted on up top. As y'all see, my new front bumper that I got off of a 03 from the junkyard, pretty much lined straight up. But I'm pretty much done for today. That's why I have the tarp out ready to go over it. But I just wanted to show y'all, do have this on here. Now I just need to get radiator, hoses, test pipes, and a whole bunch of little like miscellaneous stuff, battery. That's gonna be coming. I'm gonna be working on getting that stuff slowly, guys. But for now, I have a P0305 issue to fix in the Tahoe that I've been chasing for the past like 3 weeks. But I'm going to work on that first, and then once I'm done with that, I'm going to come back to this and we're going to be putting this all back together. Alright guys, let me explain everything I did. I went through, cleaned up all the grounds, pulled the battery out of the Impala for now, and we're going to try to turn this thing. Let's see if we, now like I said, I have the fuel pump fuse not hooked up or none of that, because I don't want the engine to turn over. I'm pretty much just wanting to get oil to get around the engine. But let's turn her, see what happens. Oh, starter's turning. Starter's turning and everything. Like I said, it's just trying to get the oil moved around. I'm actually about to check the oil level to see if anything has actually gotten sucked up or anything. I'm actually afraid to try and start this thing because, like I said, this injector down here, it leaks from the top. But I could try to maybe start it for just maybe a few seconds or something, see if it does anything. But let's see if we get anything. y'all, about to try to start it again, this time with the fuel pump fusing. Even though I know that injector is leaky, but if I see anything, I'm shutting the engine down immediately. But I just want to see if it, if it does anything. But let's keep our fingers crossed and see what happens. Also, don't mind, sorry about the trash and all that. I was cleaning up in the midst of doing all this. That motherfucker started. Yeah. There was a little bit longer run for y'all right there, but oh, let me see something. I think that's the gas leaking down under there. So let me check that out. Make sure there's no oil or anything leaking. Alright guys, that will be a wrap for this video for the G35. As y'all seen, we got it started, and I just can't explain the happiness I have right now, because like I've taken so much time, not even that it's a bad thing or anything, but I've taken so much time, learning how to rebuild this engine. Time is just, and patience is a major key thing whenever you do stuff like this. But as of right now, this is going to be it. I have more parts that I need to order that I didn't order yet, like a radiator. I need to find the crankshaft position sensor. I might have to order one if I can't figure out where I put it at. I couldn't find it today. That was the reason why it took so long to start. But that and the mass airflow sensor not being up, and that was the reason why it was staying up revved high, because without the mass airflow sensor, it can't measure how much air is going in the engine. But yeah, other than that, guys, we're pretty much done for today. In the next video, we'll be pretty much radiator on, crankshaft. We'll be finalizing this up and taking our first test drive in it. But other than that, guys, I'll see y'all in the next video.